Hello everyone, welcome to this video. In the last video I talked about the immutable blob storage and talked about specifically how you can implement a legal hold policy versus a time-based policy. We looked at both of them, and using those policies you can make your storage account a worm type account where you can write once and read many times for multiple reasons. You might need that feature, like healthcare industry, financial industry. They have a lot of critical data that where they definitely have to meet regulatory compliance, where the data cannot be modified. Okay, you can append the data but cannot be modified or deleted. This feature, this immutable blob storage, is supported for V1, V2 blob storage and blob storage. And if you look at some of the regulatory compliance, we have FINRA, CFTC section 1.31, ACC 17A, and things like that. And mainly you have two types of policy that you can use to make your blob immutable. One is called the time-based retention policy, another legal hold policy. I would say you use the legal hold policy especially when you don't know for how long your hold needs to be. Just remember, if you add a legal hold policy, and if am the administrator of the account, I can go there, remove the legal hold policy, and still can delete the data. With the time-based retention, once you have applied your retention policy and you lock the policy, even if I'm the administrator, I cannot delete it. So it's more secure to have the time-based retention policy for your storage. Keep that in mind. So let's go ahead, and for this I have developed a little script, and this is based on this particular link from Microsoft. I have modified the script just a little to meet our requirement over here. You can do this from a PowerShell. In this video we're just going to use our Cloud Shell. So let's go ahead and go to the portal. So the way you go to your Cloud Shell is click on this icon, and if it's for the first time, it is going to just ask, hey, you have no storage mounted. You can just click on create storage, or you can click on the advanced setting if you want to create or use on one of the existing storage account that you have. Okay, I can say use existing this, and the storage account resource group is that one that we're going to use. Storage account, say test store we can use, and file share, use say test file, and then I'm gonna create this storage account that we're gonna use for this Cloud Shell. The Cloud Shell is gonna use that particular storage account if it needs to store anything locally. Okay, it should take just a second. Once you have this storage account available, and now we should have our PowerShell available to us, okay, where we can run our commands. So while this is coming up, let's go back over here and see. So if you are running it from a PowerShell window, just make sure that you have the latest version of the PowerShell using install module, PowerShellGet repository, PSGallery -force. And then if you do not have the AZ module, just install it by running install-module repository PSGallery AllowClobber. So here is the really where we are starting our script, where we are creating 4 variables for resource group, storage account name, container name, and the location. So let's come here, paste it, and hit enter. At this time you can do echo. Why is it coming over there? Echo on, say, resource group, and if you enter, and you see that this is coming back as the name that we have provided. Okay, so this is behaving a little weird, so let's try to clear. I don't know if clear is a good command. Yeah, it is. So if you're using the PowerShell, you can, at this time you have to use the Connect-AzAccount command to log into your PowerShell account. For us, we are using the Cloud Shell, so we don't need to do that. If you do not have this, the storage provider registered, you can use this, but usually we have this registered. Okay, so let's click on this one, and you see Once we run it, it says Microsoft Storage registered. The other way where you can go and look whether this is registered or not is from your subscription. So if you go to your subscription, click on your subscription. Okay, so here somewhere you have the providers. As far as I remember, let's look at it real quick. External Pro Resource Group Resources. Okay, resources, click on it. No, that's not it. Resource providers is what we need. Okay, and we just registered Microsoft Storage. So over here, if you look at Microsoft Storage, it says that it is registered. Okay, there will be other items that are not registered. If you want to register from the portal, this is where you want to come to, and then select the one that you want to register and just click on register, and it should register for you. Okay, so we are done with one command. Then what we're gonna do, we're gonna create a resource group, and it's very simple command. So we're gonna run this command. Did it not paste? Let's copy this one more time. Come over here. No, it did. It just took a little bit of time. So here, New-AzResourceGroupName, we are passing the resource group name, and location, we are passing the location, and it says that it's now successful. Alright, so what I recommend, if you're learning the PowerShell, I recommend that you go back while you're running something. Also go back to your Azure portal and look at if things are running properly. So if I go to resource group, this is the resource group that we just created, and if you pass this, look at the test immutable policy store RG. So that's the resource group just got created because we ran this command. Again, what is the command? Is New-AzResourceGroup. Very simple command. You are passing the name and the location. Let's come back over here. Go to the next. So next, within the resource group, you want to create a storage account. Okay, so let's come back over here, paste this command. There we go. So what is the command? It's going to create a new AZ storage account within the resource group that we have created in the previous command. Storage account name is going to be coming from this variable that we have already created. We are using a SKU for the zone redundant storage. You can use multiple, you can use LRS, GRS, RAGRS a lot. Location is going to be East US because that's what we have specified. And for this lab, we are using StorageV2, and V2 is where this immutable storage is already supported. We know that. So hit enter, and what is gonna do? So if you log into in my portal, there's no resource at the moment, right? If I refresh, it's still no resource. But as soon as this storage account is done, creation of the storage account, it should show up within this resource group. Another important note: to deploy anything within Azure, you need a container in the resource container. If you do not have a resource group, you cannot deploy anything. So it says it succeeded. So let's refresh this one more time, and let's see if I have anything. So we still don't have it. Sometimes it takes just a minute to show up, so be patient, and just refresh it a couple times. It's still not here. So let's look at one more time over here. It didn't really tell me anything like it's successful or not, so that's a little weird. I have not seen that. So I'm gonna give it one more minute. If it's not there, we're gonna rerun this command one more time. I still do not see this over here, so let's rerun this command one more time. Okay, the storage is already taken. That's good. So last command was successful, but it's just taking a little bit of time, and sometimes, as I said, it will. So let's just go back to the storage account, go back in here. Now you see this storage account is now available to us. So this storage account, if you can go in there, we have containers, file share, tables, and queues, and we need to create a container now. So we can create from this portal, but we want to use again our AZ commands or Azure PowerShell. So let's go back and get the command that will create a container for us. So we're going to copy this one. This is going to create a new container using a context. So let's paste this one. It says could not get the storage context, please pass in storage context. So let me make sure that sorry, you gotta copy this. Alright, so it's paste. Now this time it's still giving me a problem because I'm not getting the account.context. Okay, we have created the account, so let's just echo $account real quickly. And looks like I do not have anything in there. Alright, so what most likely had happened, so when I reran this command, it failed. It has erased all the information that was stored with inside this account. So what we can do, we can go and do account, and we just need to store the storage information in here. So instead of new AZ storage account, so we can do account is get AZ storage account, and then we can provide the resource group name, and you can still provide the resource group name. This one should still be here, resource group, and then you can even provide the storage account name, and the account name is $storage account. Okay, when we created storage account, yeah, that's all I need, I think. So hit enter. Now account now should have got everything that I need. So if I run this command again, now I have everything. We are back in business. So we copied this one again now. So now we paste it. Now look at that. So now it's created a container, new AZ storage container, and this from this account context we have created a container. So let's go back over here and refresh this again. Be patient if you don't, but look at that, this time it showed up so quickly. So we got the container. Now how do you add the policy within the container? You really go and here is the policy, but again we are not doing it from the portal, we're going to do using the PowerShell. So let's come back over here, list container. So here is, you can also run this command to get a list of containers, and we have only one, so it's only going to tell you this, public access is off, last modified, but that's the only container that I have. Now setting a legal hold is pretty easy, but you gotta have at least one tag when you set the legal hold. So let's run this command and see what happens. Okay, so right now if you come over here under Immutable Blob storage, you have no policies. So I'm gonna run this command, which is add AZRM storage container legal hold. Resource group name, we're providing the resource group. Storage account name, we are providing that, and we're providing the name of the container, and we're providing the tag which is required. Okay, let's hit enter, and it says container name exceeded maximum length of 63. Okay, so the container name that we are using is too long, so let's fix that. So let's go back to the previous container, and here instead of using the container, let's use immuteblob. Okay, so that's the container we're gonna use for this particular exercise. Alright, so we got it, and now this time you, instead of using the container, we're gonna use the immuteblob. Okay, and hit enter. So this time has legal hold, so this is now done. So since we are changing this name, what we can also do, we can also update this script over here, and so that you don't have to do this when you're doing it by yourself. Container, we're gonna call it immuteblob. And I'm gonna save this, Alright, and I'm going to run this so that this variable is now stored and we don't have to type the name 100 times. Okay, so we got it. So let's come back over here. So we know we are still using the same store. In this store, if I refresh, I should have another blob. This is the blob we're gonna use. So this is I'm just gonna delete just to avoid confusion, and come back over here. Okay, so come back to the containers. We should still have the immutable blob. So this one, if you look at policy, we should have one policy because we have ran that command here and we added two different legal hold. Now once we have this, can we add any new blobs to this particular container? So if you click on upload at this time, go and select a blank file or any file, click on upload, you see your upload is successful. Alright, now can I delete this particular file once I upload it? So if it's there, if I click on it and click this, yeah, delete everything, and where is my yes, delete, hit OK, and look at that, it says fail to delete 1 out of 1 blobs. The operation is not permitted as the blob is immutable due to one or more legal hold. So that's how you make a container immutable using the legal hold policy. Okay, so let's come back over here. So if I want to remove the legal hold, okay, we added two different ones. If I remove one, let's see what happens. So let's come over here, paste this. So it's going to remove Azure storage container legal hold, and we're going to again providing the resource group and the storage account name, and then we're removing only one tag. So let's remove. So this has legal tags now, true, this one should be gone. So over here, if I come back to our blob again, okay, so this is my blob, and access policy, this is my policy. Okay, this is my policy. If I click on it, edit this policy, look at that, there is only one tag right now, which is called legal hold. The FINRA tag is now gone. Alright, but can you delete that file just because you have one tag? No, you cannot. So you can try it again, it will still say, hey, you still have something. So if you want to really delete it, what you can do, you can come over here, you can run this command one more time. Instead of removing FINRA, you remove the legal hold tag from this. Okay, so let's try this one, see what happens. So now look at that, since this tag is gone, this the output is now say, hey, legal hold tags false, there's no legal hold. If there's no legal hold tags, your legal hold policy should be automatically removed. So now if I come over here, click on the access policy, look at this, there is no legal hold, there is no policy there. So now I can go in there, click on this and hit on delete, and I should be able to delete this, and look at that, it's deleted. So that's how you can use PowerShell to do your stuff with the legal hold. Now let's do something about with the time-based retention policy, which I prefer. So let's create one. Okay, let's come over here, paste this, and again it's very similar, set AZRM storage container immutability policy. Again you're passing the resource group name, resource storage account name, container name, and you're saying immutability period is 10. Okay, let's see what happens. If you click on it, it's just didn't take any time at all, it's just got created. And one thing that you notice, the state is unlocked. This is not good. So let's refresh this and access policy, and look at that, how now we have a time-based retention for 10 days, but the state is unlocked. Can I delete it? No, I still, if I upload, can I upload something? Let's try. So let's upload something, upload. So upload is successful. Can I delete it? Let's see, delete it. Okay, no, I cannot delete it. Although this container, I have a policy, it's unlocked, but I still cannot delete it. So how you can delete it? You can remove this immutable policy as well. Alright, so before we do that, if you want to see how you got information about your immutability policy, you can also run this command. Okay, get AZRM storage container immutability policy, and then provide your resource group, storage account, and container name. and it will list the policy that you have. So it says default policy and subscription, all of that information. Okay, now if we want to remove this policy, we can remove an unlocked policy. Okay, remember, if you lock the policy, you cannot remove it. But if you left it unlocked, I'm a rogue administrator, I can come in and paste this command, and I can run it, and guess what happened just. So if I go to access policy, okay, it still says it's there, but it will be gone. Let me make sure that it's no, this is the get easy, so we still need to run the remove command. So that one, we just got the policy. Now in that remove command, we need to pass the policy, and we'll see what happens. Now it says the policy is now deleted. Okay, so only thing that we ran, remove AZIM storage container remove immutability policy, and then immutability policy, then policy. You were passing this policy and telling it to remove, and it says it's deleted. So if I refresh, I better not see this policy again. So let's go back and just come back to policy. Look at that. The policy is gone. So now I can come back over here, and because I'm a rogue admin and I want to cause damage, so I deleted the file. So if you want to stop me, you have to lock that policy. Okay, so let's come back over here. So lock the immutability policy. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna create this policy one more time. Okay, so come back over here, let's paste that one, and it should create my policy again. Okay, but it's now unlocked. But what we want to do, we want to lock the policy. So lock the policy, we're just gonna do this. Okay, you can get this first. Again, store the policy information here, and once you have the policy information stored, just lock the policy. And before I run this again, I'm going to come back to the access policy, and I want to show you that this is now says unlocked. If you click on it, I have the delete option available to me. I can delete the policy from the Azure portal as well. But if I run this command and make it locked, it's asking, hey, you're gonna make it locked. Are you sure? You just say yes, and there you go, it's now locked. So now if you come over here to the same blob, okay, and go to that immutable blob and go, why is it not doing it? Okay, let's come back over here, go down there, access policy, let's open up. It still says unlock, and that is not true because we have locked it. So it takes some time, just a little bit of time. So now it says locked. So now it's locked. I should not be able to delete anything, not even this policy. So click on it, the delete button is not available. Now if you click on it, only thing you can do here, update retention period to, you may be very smart, you say, okay, reduce the retention period to 0 days. Can you do that? So that you don't have to keep it till 10 days. No, you can only extend. So if I try 5 and hit OK, this is not going to allow me to do that. If I say 11, it would. Okay, so I can make it 11 days, but not this one. Even says fail to update per content immutable, cannot append the value of the allow protected after the policy is locked. So policy is locked, it's not even letting me do anything. So let's come back over here, policy edit. So these are the operations that we have done so far. Okay, let's come back over here, extend. I thought it can be done, so let's come back over here, and through this Azure command, so let's get the policy information again, store it to the policy. And again, what we tried to do with 11, let's try to do it from the Azure PowerShell. Let's see if it lets us do that. And it said it did. It's made it 11, right? So let's go back. So from the portal, for some reason it didn't allow me to do it, but with the Azure command it did. So let's come back, and it says 11. Look at that. So if it did through the PowerShell, I'm pretty sure we should be able to do an increase. So let's try maybe 13 and hit OK. Interesting. That is very interesting. That is saying that I cannot amend the value of the protected append rights after the policy is locked. But we know that from the PowerShell we just did it, and I'm pretty sure I have done this from the portal as well in the past. So let's just give it one more time. I'm just going to refresh the whole thing. Well, by the way, we are at the end of this lab. That's all I wanted to show you. Let's come back over here. I'm gonna look and try to do this one more time. Oh, we didn't allow the additional protected appends. Maybe that might be the problem. So you see, this feature is not enabled. Allow additional protected appends. Okay, so that one we may have to enable before you can do this from your portal. Okay, so let's reopen our Azure portal one last time. I mean the Cloud Shell, and what we want to do, since we have done our testing, we're just gonna remove our storage container and in the lab. Now the problem is my container name is now gone, so we can come over here, get all of that if we like, and paste it. And what the last one other thing I want to do, go to this link just to show you that you also have details. If you want to do it from portal, you can go and do it from portal as well. You have good direction from CLI, you can do it as well. From PowerShell, enabling allow protected append, this is what you need to do. So let's copy this one and run this one real quick. Okay, so this one, so this policy is not allowed, so I cannot append that policy because the policy is now locked. So when you create the policy, so let's create one other container real quick. I just want to make sure that you understand that we can also do this from the portal storage account, and this is the one that we're using. We have one container where we have already a policy, and that policy, if we click on it, okay, allow additional protected appends is not allowed. Okay, so here what we're gonna do, come back, create another container, and we'll say allowed appends. Okay, and then we're gonna create. So now I have another, it's a bad spelling but doesn't matter. So here I'm gonna come to the access policy, create a policy real quick for say time-based retention, and I'm gonna call it for 100 days, and then I'm gonna choose this one, allow additional protected appends, and create this policy. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna lock this policy so nobody can change that one, and say yes. So now this policy is locked. So again, in this policy, because I have this allow additional protected appends enabled, I can increase that number of days to 200 if I like, and look at that, this is now 200 days, but I cannot reduce that to 30 days because it's not allowed. It has to be more. Okay, that's just design. So I can increase that to 400 days again, hit OK, and it's successful. Alright, I think that's all I wanted to cover in this video, and I'm gonna give you the link to my GitHub account, and to this link you can study this. This one will also have the link to the Microsoft, and just play with it. Just try out your easy commands, try out both from a PowerShell window maybe that's installed on your local machine, try it out from Azure Shell, and just be familiar with the command and get a hang of it. You may get some questions in the exam, so just be familiar. And if you're studying for a certification, good luck. If you like the video, please thumbs up, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and leave your valuable comments. Have a great day.